Welcome to our workout today, gang. Aaron, what are we doing today?
Yeah, today is a strength workout. We're going to focus on a couple of key areas. Today we're going to focus on our arms, our calves, and our shoulders. And before we get started, I want to kind of show you a method we could do this. We keep being creative with how to do weights. And in the past, we've said, you could use a backpack. And something that we've even started using has been a little cloth bag in case you don't have a backpack. Again, you could fill it with water bottles, with books. And the reason we keep showing you that is because while you don't need to have anything, and you'll see Maggie occasionally will do body weight, we know that having a little bit of resistance helps a ton. So again, if you haven't done so, go find a bag, find a backpack, find something, and put some water bottles or books in it. It will help your strength get a lot better. And like we always do, we are warming up with the movements that we're actually going to do for the strength workout yet. And I always like to tell people, the strength workout doesn't officially start until you see the stopwatch go on the screen. So again, This is just your warm-ups. And the first move that we're doing is a tricep press. You saw Maggie and I do them where we were bent over, kicking back, or we were standing up and going overhead. And our second movement is a bicep curl. And again, this is really simple. You're, starting with your hands down at your hips and just picking them up. And a reminder that I'll say is you can always mimic what we're doing. Even if you don't know the name of something, it doesn't really matter. You can just kind of do what we're doing, do it somewhere close to that, and you've got a great idea of what you should be doing today. Mm-hmm. Keeping in mind that we all move a little differently, so it never has to look exactly like ours, okay? Now, our third movement is a shoulder lift, and here's where some things get a little bit different. Maggie is going to be demonstrating what we call a front lift the whole time today, and I am going to be doing variations on what we call a TYI, and so you see me doing some different kind of shapes with my hands and arms. That's a T. Coming up from the side is a Y, and then coming straight up again is a Y. And that can be great for some shoulder health. So again, just pay attention to how you're moving and make sure you're moving really well. Our fourth movement is a calf raise. And again, real simple. If you can stand up on your tippy toes, you can do a calf raise. If you'd like to add a little oomph to this, something else that you can do is stand up on a slight ledge, a step. You can put your toes on the edge of a book, a thick book, a medium-sized book, and that way you get a little more area for your heel to drop, and when you do that, it just gives you a little more range of motion. So again, while we're warming up, we're talking about all the options that you have. And then last of all, we have an optional core movement for you. And this one is just a reverse crunch, so you'll see it's, again, fairly simple. I like to say that you're in hollow body position, so your low back is pressing into the ground, and then you're really just moving, kind of hinging at your hip here. You can see that my knees aren't doing a lot of bending. They're staying, and I'm slowly lowering my legs down towards the ground. I might be tapping my toes, tapping my heels again. Either one of those will work. Now remember, the core movement is reserved for the end of a strength circuit, and it's always optional. You can do it if you want, or you can choose to use that time to rest. It's also the only time that you'll be doing core or any exercise for just 30 seconds. All the rest of our movements are a full minute in length, except for this one. So again, just kind of be prepared for that. And then for my people that love to know the kind of the roadmap of the workout, here's how it's going to go. You're going to go 4 main movements. You're going to go a tricep press for 60 seconds. You're going to do bicep curls for 60 seconds, shoulder lifts for 60 seconds, and then finally calf raises for 60 seconds. So all 4 of those for a minute each, plus 30 seconds of core or rest time is going to be 4.5 minutes per circuit. We're going to try to do 3 circuits today, which means about 13.5 minutes of stopwatch time, which is getting ready to go. So again, go ahead and get your stuff ready. If you're not quite ready, pause that video and then press play when you're ready. We're going again in 2, 1, and here we are, tricep press. So again, you've got 60 seconds here. Now, one other quick note. You'll see Maggie doing 2 arms, or kind of both arms, both legs with almost every exercise the whole time today. And I am going to be doing single arm stuff for the first couple of rounds. Right. Just to show you that there are variations. If you want to do that, you can totally join me with that. Just know that I'm going to be switching arms or switching sides every 30 seconds. You're going to see me do that here in just a second.
People always say, oh, I did too many on that side. I'm going to be uneven. Yeah. And then we say, no. Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah. The fact that you're getting out here and moving is what matters, and it's awesome. So again, let's talk about the intentions here. Now that we're in our rounds, first round 1, is always about just moving well, and you use some of that warm-up time to kind of feel it out, make sure things are moving right. And if any part of this doesn't feel good, 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and switch to bicep curls. If anything in here, any of these movements don't quite feel good, go ahead and change it up. Certainly, we always just say, hey, take a breath, step back, and think about it. Say, man, it really doesn't feel good. Then go ahead and switch it up. And if you're ever wondering about how to switch it up, if that's something that is just kind of taxing your brain, never hesitate. Send us an email, leave a message. We will absolutely love to get back to you and help you know some things that you can do instead. Most of these exercises I choose to be fairly simple and movement friendly. But that being said, there are some that just some people, it just doesn't work right.
Yeah.
You know, and we recognize that. That's okay. So again, if it's not feeling good, change it up, let us know. If it is feeling good, keep rocking it. You're gonna do just fine here as you're going through it. I've got my trusted Mickey and Friends bag.
Yeah, Aaron, you look like you're like the way you're standing is like, hey, you look like you're trying to impress me with your Mickey Mouse bag.
Absolutely, I am.
Standing tall and proud. 4,
3, 2.
You don't have to impress me, honey.
1. I appreciate that. All right. Let's go ahead and get into your shoulder lifts. Now, with my TYIs, oftentimes I'll do this without any resistance at all. It's again one of those things that shoulders just don't need a lot.
Right. Yeah. The weight of our arms is plenty sometimes, especially under repetition.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always said if you go to a gym when they're open and you're watching people with really big shoulders lift weights and do shoulder exercises, it's the smallest weights. You just don't need a lot. And not that we're aiming to have big shoulders. The aim is to have strong shoulders. And again, doing that, you just don't need big weights to have strong shoulders.
Right.
You need little or nothing, and you can get strong, healthy shoulders here. It's our big movements where we add the big weights. So this one's okay. So again, just pay attention to how you're moving. You've got about 8 seconds left. After this, you're gonna move into your calf raise. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's see some calf raises. So again, round 1, you're just paying attention to how this feels and how you look. And a quick note, all of the exercises today they're 60 seconds in length. And while the time is not magical, right? If you happen to only do 50 seconds, if it takes you a little longer to transition, that's okay. But when we choose something that's a little longer, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, the intent there is to work on getting stronger, yes, and it's also to work on what we call muscular endurance. So that being said, we're giving you a lot of time to get more reps in. And with those more reps, oftentimes comes a little more fatigue. So when we talk about how it feels, if you're starting to feel this exercise, if you're like, whew, man, I'm getting a burn here, that's kind of by design.
Right.
We want you to get a little bit of a burn, and we're just giving you more time to be able to get up there and get that. So again, just all in line with how it feels, what you're looking for, what's normal, what's expected. And you've got 3, 2, 1. Next up is either your 30-second break or 30 seconds of core. Nice job making it through that first round.
Yeah,
that was
way
awesome.
to go, gang. Yeah, so the 30 seconds of core is just kind of a nice way, to break it up a little bit and to give those muscles that we were just working a rest. Feel free to just kind of walk around for this rest or go get some water like I did. The real idea is to be ready for the next exercise that we're doing.
Exactly. Okay, we're starting round 2 and we're going back to tricep press. So again, grab whatever resistance you have and go ahead and go through the motions again. Now again, you do not have to have resistance. If you are new to working out or if you're working through an injury and you're really feeling your way out here, go ahead and go body weight. Just mimic the motions and really pay attention to how you're moving. Just getting you moving well is a way of getting stronger anyways. And so we will always take it if you're doing body weight. And if you're never quite sure what to do for body weight, again, choose either of the movements that Maggie and I are doing and just do that. There doesn't have to be anything there, okay? You've got about 20 seconds to go. And again, let's talk about the intentions for round 2. It's always, round 2, the intention is always dial it up, make your form just a little bit better. Doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea is that every rep, you're getting a little more proud of how you look, a little more proud of how you're moving here. 3, 2, 1. Let's try bicep curls, and keep in mind the same thing. You want to look good, you want to feel good, and you want to make them just a little bit better. And we leave that really open-ended because everyone's better is different, and that's okay. So again, you keep rocking it.
Yeah, and Aaron, you mentioned if you're working through an injury or if you don't have any weights or anything like that, like looking and feeling good is that first part. And then even if you don't have those weights and that resistance from a weight, you can still dial it up in this round, and you can
absolutely.
still kind of flex some more of those muscles. You can always flex your abs, kind of, pretend someone's going to come up and, touch your tummy. You can always kind of stand up tall and proud.
Yeah.
And those are all ways to dial it up.
Right. You've got 10 seconds here. I have a neat little story for you. I want to be able to tell it when we're done with this one, as far as how to dial it up and kind of add that strength. 3, 2, 1. Let's try those shoulder lifts. Okay, so when Maggie's talking about how to like flex your tummy or your leg or arm muscles, I've learned to call it the toddler whack test.
Yes.
If a toddler is running at you full speed and you can't get out of the way, you kind of brace yourself, right? And you heard me do that even in my voice. If you've if you've ever been around a toddler and they are at groin height, you know what to do, right? Because they're about to smack into you and you're like bracing and protecting yourself. And it's a funny way of thinking about it, but it's kind of the idea here.
The same goes for like wrestling with a toddler too.
Absolutely.
Like they just don't know how to not hurt you, even if they're just trying to have fun.
Right.
So you're just kind of like, flexing and protecting yourself, and that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah. If you don't have any toddlers, really the other way we talk about it is the belly whack test. And that's if, a good friend was to come up and give you a good swat in the tummy, just kind of a open-handed whack. 3, 2, 1. Let's try calf raises. You would flex your tummy to protect yourself, right? They'd be a jerk for whacking you, but it would still be that whoop, and you'd go whoop and tighten it up, and that's kind of the first stage. So again, some creative ways to talk about how to just dial it up, right? It doesn't always, your weights don't have to be heavier, but flexing those muscles, turning yourself tight, turning into what we call hard style is absolutely a way to dial it up, whether you're using weights or not. And also, smiling. Smiling always helps it get better. So have some fun with this.
Yeah.
You really should be looking good. It should be feeling pretty good. And hopefully you're having a little bit of fun. You've got about 20 seconds to go. Keep rocking it. And if you want some creative ways to move, again, try both legs. Try being on one leg. Same goes. You'll see me, I'm holding the weight this time. And again, it's just a kind of a fun way to move around. Mm-hmm. Challenge yourself a little bit. 4, 3, 2, 1. You've got 30 seconds of core or 30 seconds of rest. You choose. 2 rounds done. It's been 8.5 minutes so far.
Way to go, guys.
Way to go. Now, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I'm doing core or like hollow body hold or anything like this, something that I always have to be aware of is that lower back likes to drift up. And I don't know if it's because I just had a baby 6 months ago or what, but my core isn't quite where I want it to be. So I always try to pretend there's a string on my belly button going to my spine, and I'm kind of pushing it down. Yeah. All right. Sorry, went a little long there, but that was just a little tip. All right, tricep.
Last round, final round.
Yep.
So again, whatever method works best for you, go ahead and begin. And then the idea here, the intention for round 3 is try to make it feel like exercise. If you're working with one weight, right, it's all you have in your house, and you're thinking, this is just not heavy enough, that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. You can dial it up, like we've said, by adding a little flex. Usually, if you're stuck with one weight, the way to dial it up a little bit is to go faster.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that if you are going to try to go faster, just make sure that all of the other intentions are still there. Your form still looks and feels good. You can still kind of have that tightness. And you're, more than anything, you're really looking for control when we're talking about, a lot of that looking and feeling good. So again, move at whatever speed hopefully makes it look and feel like hard exercise, more challenging exercise, but don't sweat it too much. 3, 2, 1, let's go bicep curls.
Nice job, gang. Oh yeah, this is the time when I try to do my exercise band this way, because I'm like, I gotta make it feel like exercise, even though it already was. Yeah. And I was like, this is just not working. So it's kind of a good example for you, though, that you can just kind of keep on going within that minute, even though, you might have to change the way that you're holding your weight or your exercise band or your form or whatever. Yeah. You can just keep, it's another way of saying like that 60 seconds isn't magical. It's just a way of trying to help us kind of have a time frame. It's also a way that makes it so that we don't have to count. Yeah. Which I love, because I totally lose track every time I try to count, because I also like to talk. So I lose track of what number I'm on if I'm trying to count and talk. So the minute is a good way for us to say, okay, I'm going to try to be on task with this muscle group for this minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea there. You don't have to do it the whole time. You just have a certain amount of time to do your reps. Right? That's the way it is. 3,
Right.
2, 1. No more bicep curls. No more tricep presses. Those have been checked off. They're done. You've done 3 rounds. Let's do some shoulder lifts here. You're getting real close to the end. You've got 2.5 more minutes. Maintain. Keep your form looking great. Move at a pace that makes it feel like exercise, and you are at your sweet spot. Keep it rolling. If you're proud of your form, we're proud of your form. Keep it going. You've got about 30 seconds here.
Yeah, no, a lot of times people will be like in a gym and they'll be able to kind of look at their form that way.
Yeah, with a mirror or something.
We notice that as we're doing these videos, we've got the camera flipped so we can see ourselves. And I've noticed that helps me have a good form. When I'm kind of like, okay, I am standing up tall, my back is flat here or whatever. So if that's something that would help you, feel free to do that. You don't have to take a selfie and post it online or anything though.
Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1, and calf raises for your last exercise. You know, it's funny that you bring that up, but that is a good point, and that's specifically why a lot of gyms do have mirrors,
right?
So that
I
people
would guess
can
so. Yeah.
self-check. It's not about looking to make sure that you look nice, right? I mean, like, a lot of people do check themselves out for sure. We see that, but mirrors are there for a form check, and if you don't have a big mirror in your home, a really quick fix. Most everyone has a phone with a camera on the same screen. So again, even if you have the camera app open and you're just watching yourself go, you're not actually
you don't have
footage.
to take a video.
Yeah, and I've always had people do that. That's one of the best feedback tools I can give them is, hey, while you're doing this, just look at your form.
Yeah.
And that way you can kind of tie together what you're visually seeing with what you're feeling internally.
Yeah.
So again, don't be afraid of giving yourself a little spot check. It's not anything that you have to do, but it's a creative way to do it. I'm glad that you brought that up. And you've got about 5 more seconds here.
Yay,
4,
good job,
3,
gang.
2, 1, and of course you can finish with 30 seconds of core or 30 seconds of rest before you finish it up. You did great here.
Really great job, you guys. Wow, it's just so fun to have you guys show up and have you guys work out with us and move with us. We're really just kind of honored. It's a great way to stay connected to other people. And again, Aaron has just designed all of these workouts with great I would say significance in mind, so that you get the most out of what you need when you show up and you get the best results as well. And so he is always here for you. Leave a comment again if you have any questions. He's kind of the fitness expert, of course. He's been training for over 15 years now. And anyway, we also have a lot of videos that you can subscribe to and look up if you're always looking for more ways to move with us. We are just happy that you're joining us. Make it a great day, gang.